What is a freak-off? The freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism.
He had everything to do with what she was wearing. She said she would buy outfits from sex shops and see which one he wanted her to wear. And then inside the actual hotel rooms, their apartments where the freak-offs took place, she said that Combs was in charge of lighting. It began with candles. It then moved to studio lighting.
They might say she's lying, but that's going to be a little hard to do with that video.
What is a freak-off? It's a term that recently exploded into public awareness, tied to shocking allegations in a high-profile trial involving Cassie Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs. But what really lies beneath the surface of these claims? The courtroom drama reveals a world far darker than anyone expected. Cassie Ventura, a well-known singer and actress, has taken the stand against a powerful music mogul, exposing chilling details about their relationship. The freak-off, as she describes it, is not just a wild party. It's a carefully orchestrated, controlled, and deeply disturbing series of events that paint a picture of manipulation and abuse. The trial is gripping, with testimonies that expose power imbalances, coercion, and emotional torment. With Cassie visibly pregnant and composed, she shares a story of fear and survival that has captivated the jury and the public alike. But what exactly happened behind the closed doors? What does the freak-off really involve? And why is this case shaking the music industry to its core? In this video, we'll dive deep into the details, uncovering the layers of truth, rumors, and the shocking realities brought to light in this explosive trial. Stay with us as we unravel the mystery and bring you the facts and insights that make this story impossible to turn away from. Understanding the freak-off. Cassie Ventura described the freak-off as a disturbing part of her relationship with Sean Combs. It started about a year into their relationship, when Combs introduced her to the concept. He described it as voyeurism, a desire to watch her have sex with other people. The freak-off parties were intense, lasting anywhere from 36 to 72 hours, sometimes even 4 days straight. Cassie said Combs was the director at these so-called freak-offs, controlling every detail. From the outfits she wore, often purchased from sex shops based on what he picked, to the lighting in the rooms. It began with candles, then moved to sophisticated studio lighting. Combs choreographed the sexual acts and even dictated the amount of baby oil used, wanting participants to be glistening. Cassie admitted that these sessions were fueled by numerous drugs, including ecstasy, GHB, ketamine, cocaine, and marijuana. She explained that escorts were brought in from various cities like Miami, Ibiza, New York, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. She was responsible for finding these escorts, often using services like Craigslist, coordinating their travel under the guise of potential employers. Although Cassie said she never wanted to be involved in these freak-offs, she felt pressured, fearing Combs' anger. These parties had both physical and psychological layers of control at play, with Combs holding power over her through manipulation and coercion. The freak-off was not just about sex, but also about fear, control, and submission. Cassie's testimony painted a shocking picture of the extent to which Combs orchestrated and dominated these events, showing a side of the entertainment world few had ever imagined. Cassie's testimony and emotional impact. Cassie took the stand visibly pregnant, recounting a decade-long abusive relationship. Her calm, matter-of-fact delivery belied the horror of her experiences, including coercion, humiliation, and physical abuse. She revealed how she felt trapped, forced to participate in freak-offs despite her fear and disgust. Throughout her testimony, there was a palpable tension in the courtroom. The usual noise and distractions fell away as everyone focused on her every word. At times, Cassie's voice softened, but she never wavered from the harsh reality she faced. She described the psychological burden of feeling worthless and the difficult choices she made to please Combs, despite the pain it caused her. Her emotions surfaced especially when discussing the freakoffs, events she longed to avoid but feared refusing. Cassie's tears during these moments exposed the profound conflict between love and fear, making clear the complex nature of psychological abuse. The emotional impact wasn't just in her words, but her presence, a woman expecting a child, yet recounting years of trauma with quiet strength. She also admitted to moments of self-criticism, acknowledging how young and naive she had been while navigating this dark chapter of her life. This vulnerability connected deeply with the jury, illustrating how power, manipulation, and fear can entangle someone for years. Cassie's testimony isn't just about abuse. It's a story of survival, the painful cost of control, and the resilience it takes to speak out. As the courtroom watched her, the reality of the case transformed from abstract allegations into a deeply human and emotional ordeal. The role of coercion and power. A major point of contention is whether Cassie's testimony proves that Combs used coercion or threats. Although she described threats using private videos to control her, she didn't directly connect those threats to her actions, leaving jurors uncertain about the legal threshold for coercion. Still, the power imbalance, a 17-year age gap in Combs' control, paints a damning picture. This age difference, combined with Combs' status as a powerful mogul in the music and entertainment industry, gave him significant influence over Cassie's career and personal life. She described how Combs' threats involved releasing private, graphic videos she called freakoff videos, which he used to instill fear and maintain control. The emotional weight of this power dynamic is hard to ignore. Cassie was young and eager to succeed, signing a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment under Combs' leadership. This vulnerability, coupled with her desire to please Combs, made her susceptible to manipulation. The prosecution argues this created a coercive environment where consent was complicated at best. Yet, the defense points out that Cassie never explicitly said Combs directly threatened her to perform specific acts. They argue the missing direct link weakens the charge of coercion. This legal gray area becomes crucial in how the jury interprets the evidence. It's a battle between proving psychological pressure and establishing concrete threats. Moreover, the testimony revealed Cassie feared the consequences of saying no during freakoffs, worried about the videos being leaked or about Combs' reaction. This fear, coupled with the orchestrated nature of these events, underscores a disturbing loss of autonomy. In the end, the role of power and coercion is central to this case, forcing us to question where influence ends and control crosses the line into criminal behavior. The jury's decision will hinge on understanding this delicate balance. Graphic details and courtroom evidence. Cassie detailed freakoffs lasting days, choreographed by Combs, including drug use and humiliating acts she never wanted to participate in. Surveillance footage showing a violent 2016 hotel incident where Combs brutally attacked Cassie surfaced, reinforcing claims of abuse, though the defense tried to separate abuse from criminal racketeering. Cassie said that these freakoffs lasted from 36 to 72 hours, with the longest allegedly lasting 4 days. She described how Combs directed everything, from the lighting, which started with candles and moved to studio lights, to the exact movements during the acts, and even the amount of baby oil the participants used to look glistening. Cassie revealed that to prepare for these events, she would find escorts online, arranging their travel across cities like Miami, Ibiza, New York, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. She also disclosed frequent drug use during these parties, including ecstasy, GHB, ketamine, cocaine, and marijuana. Text messages showed her asking Combs which colored pill to take, highlighting the control he held over these situations. The prosecution introduced security footage depicting the 2016 hotel attack, where Combs chased Cassie down a hallway, pulled her to the ground, and kicked her multiple times. The video went viral, serving as a brutal reminder of the violence Cassie endured. Although the defense acknowledged the abuse, they argued it constituted domestic violence, not criminal enterprise or racketeering. The presentation of these graphic details and evidence has heightened the courtroom tension, raising critical questions about consent, coercion, and control within the freakoffs. This evidence is pivotal, potentially shaping jurors' perceptions of the case as it unfolds. The controversy over Kim Porter. Kim Porter, Combs' late former partner, remains a haunting figure in this ongoing trial. Cassie revealed that there was an overlap in their relationships with Combs, which adds a complex layer to the narrative. The allegations against Combs include not only abuse toward Cassie, but also suggest a pattern of violence, including claims about his treatment of Kim. Her suspicious death in 2018 has sparked renewed interest and controversy, with calls from some quarters to reopen her case. Some insiders believe there may have been more to her passing than the official reports state, fueling speculation and distrust. Cassie's testimony brought Kim Porter's name to the forefront in court, highlighting the dark shadows that seemed to follow Combs' personal life. The trial doesn't just revisit abuse claims against Combs, but also sheds light on how his past relationships, especially with Kim Porter, might connect to the current allegations. Questions about the circumstances surrounding Kim's death and allegations of possible foul play are now part of the public discourse, especially given the timing and the nature of Cassie's revelations. This controversy is intensifying the trial's drama and deepening the public's fascination. It also forces us to confront unsettling truths about power, control, and secrecy within the glitzy facade of fame. The controversy over Kim Porter is far from over and continues to play a crucial role in understanding the full scope of the accusations against Sean Combs. Defense strategies and jury challenges. The defense aims to cast Cassie as an embellishing witness, suggesting mutual violence and questioning the clarity of her refusals during freakoffs. They also stress the love story angle and infidelity over criminal intent. The defense admits to the abuse but argues this is not a criminal enterprise or racketeering case. They portray the relationship as complicated, with fights going both ways, and highlight instances where Cassie acted violently, possibly influenced by drugs. One key point they focus on is whether Cassie clearly said no during these freakoffs, and whether Diddy used force or threats to coerce her. Cassie admitted she never explicitly said stop, which leaves a gray area that the defense will likely use to raise reasonable doubt. Furthermore, the defense questions why Cassie held onto the freak-off videos on her phone, arguing this undermines her credibility. They push the narrative that the case is more about love, infidelity, and money than criminal wrongdoing. Meanwhile, the jury faces the difficult task of sifting through intense, graphic testimony and evidence that includes both emotional statements and disturbing video footage. They must decide if Diddy's power, alleged threats, and Cassie's fear meet the legal definition of coercion or fraud. Jurors are also confronted with the complexity of Cassie being both a victim and potentially involved in some alleged criminal activities, complicating their judgment. The highly personal nature of the testimony, coupled with Cassie's visible pregnancy, adds emotional weight, but jurors are reminded by the judge to remain objective and focus strictly on the facts. On top of that, upcoming testimony from corroborating witnesses could either strengthen Cassie's account or further blur the lines for jurors. Ultimately, this section of the trial challenges the jury to balance empathy with legal standards, a complex task that will decide Diddy's fate. The stakes and what's next. The trial is far from over, with Cassie expected to give days of testimony and other witnesses likely to verify her claims. The jury must piece together the gaps and decide if Combs' power, threats, and Cassie's fear amount to guilt. Meanwhile, public interest and speculation around this explosive case continue growing. The prosecution is determined to prove a pattern of coercion, trafficking, and abuse that allegedly went beyond just one relationship. This means more testimonies, more evidence, and crucially, the highly sensitive freak-off videos might be shown to the jury. How these videos impact the jury could significantly shape the final verdict. On the other hand, the defense is working to raise doubt, questioning the motivations behind the allegations and emphasizing the complexity of consent in this situation. The involvement of other people named in the case could also add layers, with some potentially testifying to either corroborate or contradict key points. As the case unfolds, the courtroom tension is palpable, with every moment scrutinized and every statement potentially shifting opinions. This trial is not just about the individuals involved, but also about broader issues of power, control, and exploitation in the entertainment industry. Jurors face the tough task of navigating these complexities, balancing emotions with facts to reach a fair decision. The final outcome remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the stakes are incredibly high, and the world is watching closely. The freak-off trial uncovers a chilling blend of control, abuse, and deception behind the glitz of the entertainment world. As the courtroom drama unfolds, it challenges us to reconsider power dynamics and the hidden stories amidst fame. What will the verdict reveal about truth, trust, and justice in this tangled saga? Stay tuned. This case is far from over, and every new piece of testimony brings us closer to understanding the full picture. It's a story about more than just allegations. It's a stark reminder of how power can be abused and the cost it can have on those caught in its grip. The jury faces a monumental task, weighing fear, control, and conflicting narratives to find the truth. For viewers and followers of this saga, it's a harsh glimpse into a world where the lines between love and manipulation blur. And as the proceedings continue, the public remains captivated, torn between outrage and disbelief. Ultimately, this trial will not only decide a man's fate, but also spark important conversations about abuse, consent, and accountability in the powerful circles of celebrity. The outcome could reshape how such cases are viewed and handled in the future. So keep watching closely, because this story is still unfolding, and the truth is what everyone is waiting for.